Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. The NFL landscape is buzzing right now, and for good reason. Rumors are swirling about a blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC East and give the Washington Commanders a serious boost on their quest to return to the Super Bowl. The name that's been making waves, Roquan Smith of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, before you start jumping to conclusions, let me tell you, this isn't just a rumor. Sources close to the front office indicate that a deal is very close to being finalized before the November 4th deadline. If it goes through, it could be one of the most impactful moves of the season, especially for the Commanders who are looking to solidify their defense and push for playoff contention. From what insiders are whispering, the trade would send Roquan Smith from Baltimore to Washington in exchange for a first-round pick and a linebacker depth piece, aiming to inject youth and talent into the Commanders' linebacker core. The Ravens, sitting at 1-2 in 2025, are seeking to refresh their roster, especially on defense, and this move makes a lot of sense for them. They're operating with a $22 million cap space, but their core is aging. Lamar Jackson, at 28, is still in his prime. But the defense needs a shake-up, especially considering they've been ranked 20th against the run, allowing an average of 118 yards per game. They're looking to upgrade their front seven, and acquiring a proven linebacker like Smith, who's only 26 years old, fits perfectly into their plan. Deep dive into the Ravens' defensive struggles and strategic needs ***. Baltimore's defense has historically been one of the league's most formidable units, especially under the guidance of coordinator Mike Macdonald, who took over in 2023. However, the 2025 season has been a bit of a disappointment on that front. The Ravens ranked 20th in rushing defense, allowing nearly 118 yards per game, which is far from their usual standard. Their run defense has struggled to contain the league's more explosive rushing attacks, and that has put added pressure on the secondary and the pass rush. The defense has also been inconsistent in generating sacks, with only 7.5 sacks through 3 games, ranking them in the bottom third of the league. Roquan Smith, since entering the league in 2018, has been a pivotal part of Baltimore's defense. His 2024 season stats include a total of 135 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 tackles for loss. His 2025 stats are just as impressive, with 28 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack already. His PFF grade of 90. One this season underscores his elite status on the field, and his versatility is a huge asset for the Ravens' scheme. Smith's ability to drop into coverage, rush the passer, and stop the run makes him one of the most well-rounded linebackers in the league. The Commanders' defensive woes and the potential impact of Roquan Smith switching gears to Washington. The current linebacker situation has been underwhelming. The Commanders have been allowing approximately 132 rushing yards per game, a statistic that's far from playoff-caliber defense. Linebacker play has often been cited as a weak link, with injuries and inconsistent performances hampering the unit. In particular, Cole Holcomb and Jamin Davis have struggled at times to contain the run and provide consistent sideline-to-sideline coverage. Adding Roquan Smith to this mix would be transformative. His tackling prowess, football IQ, and leadership qualities could elevate the entire defense. Smith's career tally of over 50 tackles, 20 sacks, and 8 interceptions demonstrates his playmaking ability. His 2024 season saw him post a career-high 135 tackles, with an additional 4 sacks and 2 interceptions, including a pick-6 against the Bengals that showcased his playmaking instincts. His ability to diagnose plays rapidly and make decisive tackles would significantly reduce the space that opposing offenses have to operate in. Statistical breakdown and deep analysis of Smith's game * Roquan Smith's athletic profile is impressive, clocked at 4.51 seconds in the 40-yard dash. He possesses the speed and agility that enable him to cover ground quickly. His sideline-to-sideline range makes him ideal for modern NFL defenses, which emphasize versatile linebackers capable of defending both the run and the pass effectively. His tackling efficiency is exceptional. He misses less than 8% of his tackles, and his tackling per game average surpasses 9, making him a reliable stopper. Moreover, his pass coverage is among the best for linebackers in the league. He's capable of matching up against tight ends and running backs, and he's demonstrated the ability to shadow mobile quarterbacks, an increasingly valuable skill in today's league dominated by dual-threat quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields. His 8 career interceptions, including a handful of multi-interception games, attest to his ball skills and instincts. Impact on the Commanders, defensive scheme and future outlook. The addition of Smith would allow defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio to implement more complex schemes, including blitz packages and disguise coverages, knowing they have a linebacker capable of executing multiple roles. His presence would also help Darren Payne and Jonathan Allen up front, as opposing offenses would need to account for Smith's sideline-to-sideline range, creating more one-on-one opportunities for the pass rush. In terms of team strategy, the Commanders could shift towards a more aggressive, ball-hawking defense, leveraging Smith's playmaking to generate turnovers and create short fields for the offense. With the offense already showing promise under quarterback Sam Howell, who's completed 62% of his passes for 800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions through 5 games, the defense's upgrade could be the final piece needed for a balanced, championship-caliber team. Looking ahead, the NFC East is a competitive division. The Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, and New York Giants are all formidable opponents, but the Commanders' chances of making a deep playoff run would increase markedly with a defense anchored by a player of Smith's caliber. The NFC is increasingly quarterback-centric, with offenses like the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, and the Giants, Daniel Jones, offering dynamic challenges. A linebacker like Smith could help contain these dual-threat quarterbacks and disrupt the timing of their passing attacks. Historical context and the Commanders. Legacy. The Washington Commanders have a storied history, with 3 Super Bowl titles and legendary figures like George Allen, Joe Gibbs, and Doug Williams. Their defense has historically been a cornerstone of their success, especially during the 80s and 90s when players like Darryl Green, Monty Coleman, and Charles Mann defined the franchise's identity. In recent years, the team has struggled to recapture that defensive dominance, often ranking in the middle or lower tiers in key defensive metrics. However, the current roster features promising pieces: Darren Payne, Chase Young if healthy, and Jamin Davis, who can coalesce into a formidable unit with the right leadership and talent infusion. Roquan Smith could be that catalyst, aligning with the team's long-term vision of building a tough, disciplined, and aggressive defense. Expectations and future trajectory asterisk. If the trade is finalized, the immediate expectation is a significant boost in the team's run defense and overall tackling efficiency. Smith's leadership on the field would also be invaluable in the locker room, especially for younger players like Jamin Davis, who's shown flashes of potential but needs veteran guidance. His arrival could also influence the team's approach in free agency and the draft, emphasizing linebacker and secondary positions to complement his skill set. From a strategic standpoint, the Commanders could look to extend Smith's contract, recognizing his value as a cornerstone of their defense. Given his age, just 26, he still has several prime years ahead, and investing in him long-term makes sense from a team-building perspective. Team dynamics and player relationships. The potential trade also raises interesting questions about team chemistry. Smith's leadership style, intense, focused, and vocal, would likely resonate well with the team's culture. His work ethic and competitive spirit mirror the qualities that coach Ron Rivera has emphasized throughout his tenure. Additionally, his familiarity with the NFC North and East opponents could provide an edge in preparing for divisional matchups, as he's already familiar with several key offensive schemes. The broader NFL context. This move, if completed, would not only impact the Commanders, but also the entire NFC playoff picture. A stronger Washington defense could tilt the division standings and playoff seedings, especially if the offense continues to develop under Howell. It also signals the evolving nature of NFL defenses, where versatile, athletic linebackers are more important than ever in defending against modern offenses. In terms of NFL trends, teams are increasingly valuing linebackers who can cover tight ends and running backs, rush the quarterback, and make instinctive plays. Roquan Smith fits this mold perfectly. His anticipated arrival to Washington would make them a more unpredictable, dangerous team that can adapt to various offensive threats. Conclusion and final thoughts in summary. The potential acquisition of Roquan Smith by the Washington Commanders is a game-changing move that could redefine their defensive identity and significantly improve their chances of a deep playoff run. His proven production, athleticism, leadership, and fit within the team's scheme make him a perfect match for what the Commanders need. The trade, if it occurs, would be a statement of intent from the franchise, a clear signal that they're serious about competing at the highest level and reclaiming their place among NFL giants. The future looks bright, but the window of opportunity is closing fast. With the NFL trade deadline approaching and the NFC East being as competitive as ever, the Commanders have a real chance to make a bold move that could set the tone for years to come. Fans should stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The road to the Super Bowl is paved with strategic moves, and Roquan Smith could very well be the piece that finally puts Washington back on top. Final note to fans now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the potential trade? Are you excited that the Commanders are making aggressive moves? Do you believe Smith's addition will be enough to push them over the top? Drop your comments below, share your opinions, and let's keep this conversation going. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this content with fellow fans. The more we grow this community, the more we can celebrate our team's victories together. Thanks for tuning in and stay fired up because the best is yet to come for the Washington Commanders.